Tonight on CBS News 7.
Your seats are too goddamn small!
If your big, round, beluga bop whale-looking self needs an accommodation in the cargo hold, we can make that happen.
We are here live at the scene of a shocking incident where a woman killed her husband for walking on the floor she mopped. Has she been arrested?
Not yet. We are waiting for the floor to dry. Welcome back to the Spectrum News Network. I'm your host, Marshmallow Jenkins. We have some extremely tragic news for you tonight. The only Hooters in my town has shut down. I drove my moped to the promised land on my lunch break today, and I was shocked to discover that the happiest place on earth has become nothing but a memory. A culinary institution that was once the heartbeat of Tickletoe County locked its doors for the last time this week as it filed for bankruptcy. As the earth shifted beneath my Crocs in that empty parking lot, it began to rain. As if even the sky knew what had been lost to the cruel, twisted hand of fate. I began to wonder where Kelly could be. Is she thinking about me? Wondering where I am? My soul is now bankrupt of boobies. But do I get to file these feelings? No, I must carry on. I must become the man that my dad wanted me to be. The man that was born when Kelly hugged me that one time and absolutely smothered my face with those squeezers. Because if I can't become that man, well, I don't deserve Kelly and her massive upper deckers, do I? So that's what I must do. I won't just survive this tragedy. I'll become stronger from it. Stronger than I've ever been. I know more jiggly honkers are out there, and I'll find them.
This just in. The United States has officially deployed its most reckless and unpredictable unit to the Middle East, the Ultima Team.
Girl, I'm lost. Keisha, guess where I am? Girl, they sent me to Iran. Who's gonna fill in? Girl, that. They got some good ass food here though. Did you not see me? Dead ass! Move! I don't even care for real. Bitch!
Thanks, Chris. Known for their unmatched ability to cause complete havoc in school zones, Walmart parking lots, and Taco Bell drive-thrus.
Y'all lucky I ain't bring Keisha.
The Pentagon has confirmed these drivers were selected based on three things: unpaid registration, loud exhaust, and vibes. God help us all. Welcome to the Black News Network. I'm your host, Papa Cap and Yo Ass Jones. Tonight's story, BNN weather reporter and local hoe Rakisha McRib thinks she too good for me. The part-time weather reporter and full-time community mattress was begging me to come through and lay this pipe last Friday, but now she want to act like she don't know me. She ain't ever had a problem asking me to pay for her food, but when it come time to show me what that mouth do, the hoe proudly lied, I ain't that kind of girl. So we just gonna act like you ain't already popping Plan Bs like they a daily vitamin. Oh, please. The dry cleaners won't even take your business anymore. They all tired of cleaning up baby batter stains off your clothes. Don't ever ask me to DoorDash you no crab legs again. You ain't never gonna feel these biggity black balls snocking all up on that tuna fish hot pocket garage door. And she wanna walk around here like we strangers now? Here's a forecast for any men thinking they about to get some neck work from this hoe. Expect a 100% chance of STDs. Don't be texting me next week saying, I miss you, Chocolate Thunder, come and get this deep dish. I ain't no hot and ready midnight snack hoe. You just missed the free shrimp. And now here's Rakisha McRib with the weather.
Tomorrow's weather happened yesterday, so we're experiencing reverse precipitation. Rain will unfall upward into the clouds starting at 3 p.m.
We're getting reports that local resident Mike Johnson has discovered he's been the same NPC for 3 years, repeating identical conversations with neighbors.
As you can see, we have heavy cat precipitation moving through the Midwest. Expect 3 to 4 inches of tabby cats with scattered Persian showers.
We're seeing a high-pressure system of existential dread moving in from the west, with scattered anxiety showers and a 70% chance of emotional breakdown by evening.
Good evening, I'm Sarah Mitchell. Wait, why are there two of us? I think we're experiencing a rendering error.
In tonight's game, gravity was temporarily disabled in the third quarter, resulting in all players floating near the ceiling for approximately 12.
Traffic is backed up on the aerial highway due to a 3-car collision at cloud level 7. We're seeing delays of up to 20 minutes for commuters trying to reach the stratosphere.
And that concludes tonight's completely AI-generated news broadcast. None of this was real, but you watched anyway. Back to your regularly scheduled reality.
Yo, 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 what up, what up, what up? Can you hear me? Oh, yeah, there you go, there you go, there go my sound. All right, we back in the building, man. It's Saturday night, man. I wanted to do Demon Time. I think it would have been episode number 4. Slipknot and Contractor wasn't available. It is Contractor show, so really ain't no show without him. I see Mr. O in the audience early, right there. Yeah, Mr. O. I dropped my email in the chat, man. Email me right now so I got your email. I'll email you directly. Um, I really, really like what you got going on over on your channel, man. I see you working. Um, so we might just end up doing some content together, man. Hit me up on an email, man. We work something out, man. Maybe I have you come up and review some clips with me or some news or something like that. We got a lot of stuff going on. We got a big interview coming up over here on the channel that we're working out the details with now, the scheduling and everything. I was talking to Saul. So we got a big interview coming up on the channel, man. A lot of good stuff happening. And we might actually have our first sponsor coming soon. So that's in the works too. Let me say what's up to everybody in my chat. Universal Black, I see you, Playboy. Yo, it's Saturday night, man. No Demon Time, so I'm just gonna do the news. I got a ton of stories. Kwame Kaiju, salute to you. I see you in the chat. I think you sent me some emails with news clips. International Quiet Storm, No News Podcast, and Irvin Reed. So I got a bunch of stuff. Links to the stuff I'm going to review tonight are in the description box. I started putting my source videos I'm reviewing. Man, Trump been on a rampage all week, so there's no way we could cover all this on a friggin' Sunday. So I'm gonna chop away at some of this, and then also I'll be able to chop some of this up for my long form content. Yo, salute to all y'all that have been dropping by, leaving comments under the long form videos, and keeping me motivated, man. We got to get those videos in the algorithm so this channel makes some more money, man. No, but thanks a lot, man. I see y'all leaving comments. Brother Zeke in particular, Brother Zeke, and the guy who leaves the #1 amount of comments on everything on the channel, Gunmetal Guy USA. He been with us since season 1. He been with us since season 1. Damn near episode 6. All right, guys, let's get into it. Actually, I got a lot of good clips lined up for us. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me, if my volume's good, and we get ready to rock. I already got some stuff queued up. We're gonna wing it. I got a. What do I got? I got you can do Jesse Waters Trump's Week in Review, because a lot of these guys like clip a lot of the news up, so it's easier for me. So I don't got to do all this clip farming, and I can do the commentary. Jasmine Crockett getting her ass handed to her by the Democrats. We got to do that one. I'm gonna wait till like a little later in the show, because then people be popping up. Like I be thinking I'm done. People be popping up an hour in, and like all the juicy part then already been done. But let's do Jesse first. Hold on, let me pull this up real quick. Bang, add that to the stage. There we go. View on tab. All right, make sure my volume is turned up. I'm used to doing all my own pre-production, man. Downloading the videos, editing my audio. I had to get used to this sharing the screen stuff. All right, let's go. So this one is let's do this one first. This is a failing and identity-less party. The Democrats, says former Democratic operative. Brothers, we doing our job. We are one step further to sending the Democratic Party into the wilderness for good.
Kamala's donors, they think she's a scarecrow in a pantsuit. Quote, Kamala just reminds you we're in this complete esh storm. We're living in a nightmare, and nobody's incredibly pumped. The only thing turning Democrats on these days is a commie in Manhattan. We call him the Destroyer, and AOC's a proud commie mommy.
Yeah, real quick. New York going to hell. They elected this guy's only been, I believe, a citizen since 2018. A Muslim socialist just won the primary in New York. And what I was saying is, Cuomo dropped out, that this technically might be good because Mayor Adams is running now as an independent. There's a very good chance that Adams is going to beat this guy in the actual election. If that happens, we're in a position where a independent will have beaten a Democrat in a major political election, especially for the state, for the city of New York, and he's a black man independent. That's kind of a coup, like on some low key shit, especially since most black men now are starting to identify as independents, myself included. We back Trump, we back Trump's play, but we didn't back the Republicans. We backed the MAGA movement via Trump because his policy initiatives aligned with what a lot of black men wanted. You know what I'm saying? So we vote in policy, not party. So just, just something to think about. If Adams actually does win, he'll win as a black independent, beating a Democrat, and that could that could be a canary in the coal mine.
We have a choice to listen to that message that people are sending us or not. This isn't just about Mr. Mamdani as an individual. This is about the message that the people of New York City are trying to send to our party.
Swalwell hasn't been this aroused since Fang Fang.
Stylistically, he was always on and he was everywhere. And I've been encouraging my colleagues, we have to be in more spaces, more places, and always be on in the way that we communicate. And also, when you're always on, you're always honest. And that clearly came through.
Trump still can't believe they found someone crazier than Cockett.
They're worried that somebody that, like this communist from New York, someday gets elected. I can't believe that's happening. That's a terrible thing for our country, by the way. He's a communist. We're going to go to a communistic state. That's so bad for New York, but the rest of the country is revolting against it.
Trump is hilarious. He's just so blunt and honest. He's a communist.
Former Democratic campaign operative Evan Barker is here. How you doing, Evan?
Doing great. How are you, Jesse?
Better than ever. The Democratic Party, not better than ever. What's their problem?
They have so many. I honestly don't even know where to begin. But I do know that 1 year ago tonight was the day that the Democratic Party realized that they could no longer gaslight the American people. You know, I remember that day like it was yesterday. I was sitting on my couch watching the debate, and I began texting my friends. I was still working for the party at that point. And I said, guys, there's no way that this guy can win. Like, what are you going to do? Are you going to get him to drop out? What's going to happen? And at the beginning of the debate, they were like, yeah, we got to get him out. And then by the end, it was like a 180 had happened. Like they had spoken to some higher power donor that, you know, had come down from on high and basically said, no, Biden's going to be our guy. So I think that they've been flailing basically ever since.
Is that how it goes? They're told things by someone with money?
100%. That's absolutely how it goes. I don't know if you've noticed on social media, you'll see, you know, especially around the big, beautiful bill, you'll see all of these different senators come out with talking points all at once. Some of them even look identical to each other. Those are usually talking points that are disseminated from the
we've been saying this. How do they all have the exact same talking points? CNN's, MSNBC. Then you go on TikTok and you see all these random people echoing the same talking points, like verbatim, like the keywords, like someone sent the word of the day memo around. This is a Democratic Party insider, former Democratic campaign operative, telling you this is exactly what's going on, bro. We've been spot on for quite some time.
Highest pinnacles of the party. So, you know, from the DSCC or the DCCC or, you know, and often donors themselves are very involved in crafting those messages that the politicians receive.
Do the politicians have any brains themselves? I mean, usually grown men and women speak for themselves. They don't just take things and then just spew them out like robots.
I think part of the problem, Jesse, is that the Democratic Party is afraid to, like, they don't know who they are, right? They don't have an identity themselves. Like, their only identity is to be against Donald Trump at this point. And so because of that, they just do what they're told. And, that's part of the reason why the American public no longer trusts them. I mean, Kamala Harris, she's going to need to answer for her role in the cover-up of Joe Biden's cognitive decline. She was second in command, and no reporter, no one has asked her directly to answer for that. And I think before, she considers running for governor or president or any other role, she's going to have to address the American people and explain her role, because she was second in command. There's no way she didn't know.
Isn't it amazing that a reporter still hasn't asked Kamala Harris about the Biden cover-up? And she's been in California for like 6 months. It's not like she's in North Korea. She's in California. You can find her, but they won't find her, and she's nowhere to be found. Unbelievable. Evan, great to see you. Have a great weekend. I know you will. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews. And
all right, bet. I'm going to load up my next segment. But that spoke to my point. Like, bro, we have done a good, and who would have thought that a bunch of guys on YouTube with some laptops and some cell phones in the course of one election cycle could single-handedly contribute to the utter demise of the Democratic Party as we know it. Because there's a good chance they're not going to sweep the midterms. They got no one to run in 2028. We got two people. We got Vance, and now we got Marco Rubio. So Marco Rubio is turning out to be a real pit bull. They got nobody. And everyone's already talking about 7 years of Trump, meaning his term's over in 3. But it's almost a shoo-in that somebody in his current administration is going to win. Is going to win the 2028 term. And with the way that the Democrats are showing out now, bro, it's full-blown panic mode. And after this Iran deal, forget about it. Stock market just went through the roof. I posted Quiet Storm's Trump resume thing that he dropped in the chat the last news desk. I posted that on the community tab. Yeah, we're like 160 days into the presidency, and he's got all this accomplished. And I was saying to Saul earlier, I think some of the biggest issue with the Dem pushback and deep state in general is the worst part is that Trump is really by him being able to get so much done so quickly, basically stuff that for the last 3-4 administrations they said couldn't get done, and for him to do it in under what's 160 days? What is that? Almost what? Three what? Because almost 7 months, 6-7 months. This is proven that these politicians in both parties have been lying to us all this time about what they can't get done and needing bigger budgets and this, that, and the other. They haven't wanted to get it done. All right, so let's look. Let's load this up. We're gonna cover some of this tomorrow night, but the Supreme Court just handed Trump this win with this birthright citizenship deal, and more importantly than anything, because it's going to stop these judges from doing these injunctions saying that that ICE can't deport these certain people. But one of the key points we're going to get into it tomorrow night. We're going to do a whole segment on it. But that the birthright citizenship, that was for Trojan, and it was after the Civil War. And we've reiterated this again and again on the channel that, the American FBA, ADOS black man, we have birthright. We've got blood rights to this country. And that's where that 14th Amendment comes in. We fought in the Civil War, and then right after that, that's where you get that 14th Amendment, birthright citizen. So that was for the babies, that was for the children who were descendants of slaves. And that 14th Amendment and that birthright citizenship was paid for in blood. And so Trump said, and now everyone's been saying is like, nah, these liberals, these liberal whites and these Keisha have been using this as a loophole for foreign nationals coming in and having children and automatically becoming U.S. citizens. So they don't get to reap the benefits without paying the cost. We got birthright citizen because we fought in Revolutionary War, Civil War. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm with the Supreme Court decision. Like, no, you don't get to come here and have an anchor baby and get the protections under the 14th Amendment that was bled for by American black men. You know what I'm saying? Everyone is benefiting off of our blood and sacrifice. Hell no.
MSNBC melting down.
Not able to issue nationwide injunctions.
Okay, thank you. Stand by. And I know you want to dig into the case, so we'll let you do that. Julia, I'm going to bring in Lisa Rubin. You just pulled it up. What are we learning?
We're learning today that the court, by a 6-3 majority, Anna, has decided to stay the injunctions partially. They're saying that they will grant the government's application for stays, but only to the extent that the injunctions are broader than necessary to provide complete relief to each plaintiff with standing to sue. And let me go back a second, zoom out for a second if I can. One of the questions here was, if the court was going to stay these injunctions, how were they going to do it? Were they going to say that each injunction could only apply in the district where it was entered?
Yeah, that's what they said. I'm pretty sure that's what they said, yeah.
In 2 cases here, those districts were actually statewide, the District of New Jersey, the District of Massachusetts. But the other question was, could you limit it to just the plaintiffs in these particular cases? Remember that 2 of these 3 cases are brought by states. So how this changes that result, what does it mean then when the individual plaintiffs who have standing to sue are states? Does that mean that we're going to get sort of a patchwork result, as one of the attorneys general, Matt Platkin of New Jersey, described to me in an interview earlier this year? Does that mean that citizenship could be conferred solely by an accident of birth? And he described to me a situation where a citizen or a resident of his state gives birth over a state line in Pennsylvania, for example. What happens if a New Jersey resident gives birth in Pennsylvania? New Jersey.
This is what happens, bro. This is what Karens do. They make everything complicated. They confuse fucking everything. They add unnecessary layers of bureaucracy. This is unbelievable. How does this happen?
Jersey is a plaintiff to.
That's why I like react. Doing like the news coverage that Osmond has already reviewed, clips I would have reviewed, because his reactions to these shits be funny, right? And bear in mind, this is a liberal white Karen arguing for non-U.S. citizens to get the same. We gotta break down what this is, to get the same benefits of citizenship that ADOS and FBA Americans get because we fought and died in the Civil War. So you gotta, like I said, once again, using the black man's blood and sacrifice as a utility for these people to stand on, but they made none of the sacrifices. The same people that will come here and call us lazy.
These cases, Pennsylvania is not. If the child to 2 undocumented immigrants is born in Pennsylvania, what is the result with respect to that person's citizenship?
They're not a citizen.
These are a bunch of questions that are now going to result. But at the very least, we are going to see a circumstance where the president's executive order curtailing birthright citizenship is going to effectively be allowed to be implemented in certain states,
that's right,
but not in others.
Okay, so
Yep.
the Leah Littman, what does this mean for Trump's executive order on birthright citizenship? Is it
Let's get the Council of Karens to come together and complain about this.
now in effect in certain places, just not in the places that initially were where these cases were brought?
So unfortunately, that is going to be worked out by the lower courts on remand, because what the Republican justices decided is, as to the individual plaintiffs who filed suit, courts cannot award them nationwide injunctions. That is the only thing courts can give these individual plaintiffs, is a determination that their children would be United States citizens. But as to the states that challenge this executive order, the Supreme Court says, we are not deciding whether a nationwide injunction is necessary to provide the states with complete relief, and therefore they send the case back down to the lower courts to make that determination initially.
Why do they have to complicate
Now, that doesn't
everything?
mean the executive order.
This is the reason why everything in the government takes a long time. And this is the reason why companies end up being bloated and they can't do anything. It's because you get a council of Karens together and they peck apart any sort of efficiency, and they turn it into this like abstraction that has 50 parts together that have to fit together so they can justify, in a lot of cases, having useless jobs. That's why they hate Doge. Yep, that's right.
Order is going to go into effect immediately. The executive order indicates that it contains a 30-day period in which the administration will create.
It's existential. What a ridiculous thing to even say. Jesus.
Mayor's dissent says no right is safe in the new legal regime the court creates. She calls the court complicit in a grave attack on our system of law. The reality is the Supreme Court's Republican justices took away lower courts' single powerful tool, the most powerful.
Yeah, because they shouldn't have it. That's the reason why. It's fucking retarded.
Exactly. They're up here bitching that basically what we've been saying, that the Supreme Court needed to step in and check these lower courts because they're basically infringing on the power of the executive office of the president. The president can't sign an executive order, and some lowly lower district court somewhere in Maryland or something can hold up the entire nation's progress, but in lieu of the executive order because they feel like it. And it was happening so much. We're going to cover it tomorrow night with the Pam Bondi made a huge statement about how there are so many injunctions. These are the most number of injunctions by lower courts against the executive in the history of the United States. And they're all coming from like 3 or 4 different states, which are all blue states, by the way. And we've been saying this on the Sunday show and me on the news desk that, at some point the Supreme Court's going to have to step in and smack these lower courts around and tell them to get in line before we end up with a full-fledged war between the executive branch and the judicial branch. So this is the Supreme Court smacking them down and telling them, get in line, do your job, your power is only within your district, and run everything to the courts and stop trying. And they will also flood in the Supreme Court with these injunctions and basically jumping over the basic chain of command. And they were like, no, get this in order. And Ketanji Brown Jackson, who's getting trashed online, by the way, for her dissent, the dissent she wrote up against this. This is the one beautiful thing with the internet. And with Ketanji Brown Jackson proving that she is a DEI Supreme Court justice because she has no command of the Constitution, bro. They destroyed her. She's being destroyed, bro. Supreme dissents and all that, those go down in public record like forever. So the first DEI Keisha judge, Supreme Court justice, every misstep that she makes is going to be recorded for history, just like these Keishas on the social media, which we make brilliant content about. Yo, gentlemen, Brothers, FBA, ADOS, black men, we got a winning hand right now. Do not friggin' fumble it. Let's not give up any inches on the any inches on yards on the field.
Why the fuck should a lower court be able to undo a presidential order for the entire country if it's only legislating in one area? It doesn't even make sense.
Tool.
It's weird. Yeah,
for reigning in the Trump administration, and
that's why they're mad. That they don't care about this. That's it. They're not mad about this because it's it's hurting the courts. It's about to. No, they're mad because this limits the ability that they can have to push their agenda. There's no principle behind this at all. All you have to do is think about this for 5 seconds. You're going to realize how stupid it sounds. Yes, that's when we need more authoritarians. You understand that these people are the authoritarians, right? Like this entire premise that one side wants freedom and the other side wants authoritarianism. This is a delusion. Both sides want to control the outcome. The people that don't have control over the outcome fight against it by saying they want freedom. And the people that have control over the outcome fight against it by saying they want to guarantee safety. This is a tale as old as time. Don't get hoodwinked, confused, and misled by vocabulary.
Them accountable to the law.
Chuck, let me get your reaction. This sounds like a giant win for the Trump administration and could likely trigger chaos now across the country.
Well, let me address the second point first, Anna. And since you have Leah and Lisa on, I'm not sure why you would ask me anything. They're both way smarter than me, but it strikes me.
You're all brilliant.
No, well, I'll prove otherwise in a moment, Anna. But it strikes me that now individual plaintiffs in almost 100 separate federal judicial districts can seek individual relief.
Yeah.
If a federal district court judge in Seattle can't enjoin nationwide President Trump's executive order on birthright citizenship, but could only do so in the Western District of Washington where he sits, then
seems pretty fair.
Similarly situated plaintiffs, women who would give birth to a child who would otherwise be a U.S. citizen, could bring suit in Maine and in Vermont and in the Northern District of Florida and everywhere in the country. And right now you have, in my view, binding Supreme Court precedent from an 1898 case that says these women would win. This is a procedural decision from the Supreme Court.
Great.
It's not a substantive decision on the underlying executive order. It does strip from federal judges on a lot of power that was exercised increasingly over the last 2, 3, 4 decades against presidents of both parties.
Mainly Trump, let's be honest.
And it was clear to me from the argument that a number of the more conservative justices were going to go exactly this way, that they were opposed to this notion of a single federal judge having nationwide injunctive powers.
Yeah, because it doesn't make any fucking sense. Like that's the reason why it's stupid. Obviously.
They didn't like the notion of judge shopping, that an aggrieved plaintiff would bring a case in a district that best suited him or her. But will there be more chaos? There'll be more cases, Anna, and whether or not you think of that as chaos, I'll leave that to you. But I think more individual plaintiffs will bring more individual cases seeking similar relief.
Yeah,
well, the reason I asked Chuck about the chaos is I'm trying to envision a situation in which...
You see how they try to scare people. They try to scare people. Oh, my God, it's going to be chaos. It's going to be so scary.
You have to have a case. You have to bring your own case in order to get the relief, right? So if you are a person who is in this country right now in a state...
Yo, what up, Storm? Yeah, we in here. Yo, I see you, Music Man. I'm actually, Storm, I'm actually using your clips from, I'm using the clips you sent me for this show. Matter of fact, let me pull the joint up. I'm actually using your clips. Let me look at the docket. Dem's feeling best week ever. Oh yeah, all right. I'll play your I'm gonna play your Senator. All right, let's jump to that. I'll play your Senator Kennedy on the bill next. And then we'll jump into Jasmine Cockett getting her ass handed to her by the Democratic Party. And we're gonna use my guy Soldier of Finance because he's got good commentary on that. Yeah, we're gonna let's play your I'm using this shows most of the clips you sent me. I think I didn't use the alligator Alcatraz joint. I might actually use that one. All right, bet. Louisiana Senator Canada one is hilarious. All right, I'm gonna play that one next. All right, we'll do that one next. What Kwame said, he said, Red Supreme posed the question that if California was Mexico, would Mexicans live there? How about that? Guys, make no mistake. We're gonna play. We're gonna do an extended segment on the birthright citizenship tomorrow night on the show. But one of the most important things that happened during this is that Trump said it out his mouth. He said this loophole that the liberals are using. He said the 14th Amendment, this birthright citizenship, was for the babies of slaves, not for foreign nationals coming over here having babies. And I was talking to Saul about this, and Saul was saying yo, that's a dog whistle. That's a dog whistle to the black male voter, just to be like, Trump knows what's up. You know what I'm saying? We've been making an argument all of the real gains in this country, civil rights, 14th Amendment and stuff, all these things were fought for by black men. Let's keep it a buck. And that everyone's benefited from them. Even affirmative action was for black men. You know what I'm saying? We fought, but they ended up giving it all to white women and Keishas. And we got cut. We get cut out of the benefits that we fought for. You know what I'm saying? And as far as this birthright citizenship and this anchor baby shit, that goes all the way back to the 14th Amendment is after the Civil War. The black men fought and died in the Civil War. We helped the North win the war. They say we say, I make this argument, blood rights. Blood rights. We got blood in the soil. So you say, hey, we kept this country together. We help you defeat the South. We need an amendment. And the babies born from black men after this, they're U.S. citizens. They're not 3/4 of a man. Do you understand what I'm saying? And everyone has got the benefit off of that without shedding the fucking blood. So I'm glad Trump closed this little loophole. And when you watch on mainstream media and you watch on your social media, all these Keishas and these liberals crying about birthright citizenship and that everybody should be getting it, you need to ask yourself, where were they in the Civil War? Did any of them to fight in the Civil War and die to get that 14th Amendment? Why do they get the benefit off of our blood? Fuck that. That's why it's important we have these channels, man, to talk you guys through what's really going on, because there's way too much gaslighting going on, and they really trying to keep the FBA blackmail a goddamn mule. I ain't going for it. All right, let's load up this Kennedy clip. So let me kill this real quick. Boppity bop. And while you guys wait for me to load up the next clip, bang.
This just in. The United States has officially deployed its most reckless and unpredictable unit to the Middle East, the Ultima Team.
Girl, I'm lost. Keisha, guess where I am? Girl, they sent me to Iran. Who's gonna fill in? Girl, that. They got some good ass food here though. Did you not see me? Dead ass. Move. I don't even care for real. Bitch.
Thanks, Chris. Known for their unmatched ability to cause complete havoc in school zones, Walmart parking lots, and Taco Bell drive-thrus.
Y'all lucky I ain't bring Keisha.
The Pentagon has confirmed these drivers were selected based on 3 things: unpaid registration, loud exhaust, and vibes. God help us all.
Oh, and this is like the last thing I'm going to say. It's the first of the month, so I'm just going to get all my hot takes out. I don't give a what happens to any black man on this app, including being in the neck by a white man who has still not been arrested. I don't care, because these are the same men that said that they're not going to vote for a black woman unless they get child support forgiveness. We need to understand that black men ask for people to not take their lives seriously, to not care if someone unjust them or uses excessive force on them. They told us that they don't give about none of that. All they care about is child support forgiveness. So I don't give a if there's a story of a black man from a tree or anything else at this point. I don't care anymore. I care about what's happening to black women, but not black men. Because again, these are the same men that said they don't give anything else but child support forgiveness.
I have that clip there to remind y'all what's going on and why you should be voting your political interests, because that's what they really think. That was them in a response for us voting for Trump and not voting for Kamala. Music Man said they love their Ultimas. Yeah, those AI news clips is hilarious, ain't they, bro? All right, Storm. This is Senator Kennedy Senator from Louisiana, talking about what's going on Capitol Hill with Faulkner. It was actually like her. I actually like her show and her takes on Fox. But yeah, this was sent to me by Quiet Storm. So a lot of these clips tonight's news desk are courtesy of the International Quiet Storm. And Storm, if you notice, I posted your Trump's resume on the community tab. The stuff you put in the chat last time, you was cooking. Let's go.
The report. And Senator, what does this weekend really entail? Maybe 1 or 2 sticking points that you think you can iron out.
Well, here's where I think we are, Harris. Look, I believe in teamwork. It gives you somebody to blame. But at some point, you've got to make a decision. Now, our quarterbacks are John Thune and Mike Crapo. They're both rock stars. They're trying to make everybody happy. It can't be done. We have cussed and discussed and rediscussed. We need to start voting. Everybody needs to adult real hard, and the jackassery has to stop. I have encouraged John and Mike.
Jackassery? I'm going to use that. That's a good one. Jackassery.
Mike, to tell everyone, look, we're going to start voting tomorrow at noon. If you're not happy, offer an amendment. We'll have a full amendment process. But here's the bottom line. In any legislation of this magnitude, some people are just going to have to settle for a ham and egg sandwich without the ham. That's just the nature of the beast. And I think that if you put everybody to the test and say, look, this is why God made votes.
Joe, you on to something there, Storm. I should make that a t-shirt. I might work on that this week. Jackassery gotta stop. Yo, big up, Larry Perry. I see you in the house. Yo, we just going over some news. We 46 minutes in. I'm gonna get us up out of here right under the 2-hour mark so I can put this in rotation. Let's go.
It's time. Vote. I think the bill will pass.
All right. So you gave us key information about that vote tomorrow. And then if that doesn't pass in the Senate, then you'll go back and you'll make some amendments. This is something that I've been talking with Republican House members about, particularly Mike Lawler here in New York City, who wants a SALT deduction cap to be raised. And it's become, I understand, a point of contention getting this bill across the finish line and onto the president's desk. I talked with Lawler last week on The Focus. Here's a bit of that.
The $10,000 cap is not something that I can support. And I've been very clear from the moment that I ran for Congress that I would never support a tax bill that doesn't adequately lift the cap on salt.
Senator, where are you on this one? Because if it goes back to the House, Congressman Lawler told me, I mean, you need 218. He won't be part of that. So they'll fall short in the House.
Well, I love Congressman Lawler. I respect Congressman Lawler. But he and about 4 of his colleagues are demanding that the American people spend over $300 billion, not million, $300 billion to make them happy. And that is unacceptable. If the congressman wants to vote against the bill, have at it. But it's time to vote. I think I wouldn't make any changes to the SALT provisions. I wouldn't. And if you're unhappy with that, vote against it or fill out a hurt feelings report. But it's time to vote.
Those state and local taxes that blue states, there are only 5 of them, 5 members, I should say, who represent in those blue states who are pushing for this. And
it's they want us to spend over $300 billion to make them happy. And they say they'll vote no if we don't. I say, let's don't do it. And if they want to vote for the largest tax increase in American history, they've got to do what they've got to do, but they better.
And bear in mind, he's talking about the Democrats right here. So we arguably have the biggest tax cut to the middle class and lower class in American history, which includes the no tax on tips or anything else like that. And it's the Democrats holding it up and trying to tackle all the pork attached to it. Like I said, and then also trying not to give Trump a political win for his base and for the mandate that's been given to him by the public. Every step you go away, you're showing that the Democrats as a party are showing that they do not have the interests of the American public in mind. Like I said, and bear in mind, when I make these statements, I would say that the traditional Republican Party doesn't either, the rhinos. And that's why we make this distinction. The MAGA movement is not a Republican movement. It's a movement that took over the Republican Party. It's a populist movement. And after Trump's gone and maybe Vance or Rubio, who's next, we don't know what's going to happen next. You know what I'm saying? We may end up with a different Republican Party. But I'm of the opinion if we get Rubio or Vance in next term, between Trump's term and theirs, that they'll completely reshape America as we know it, which we need to, because it's going to hell in a handbasket. Quiet Storm says to fill out a hurt feelings report. That's funny. Kwame Kaijo, yeah, Senator Kennedy's Southern idioms crack me up. Yeah, he's hilarious. Music Man, 2 versions. Jackassery gotta stop. Couldn't find a jackass, so I used a horse. I think it's funny.
Better be prepared for the consequences.
Well, you have a long weekend ahead of you, and the goal for Monday, we will be covering every second of it with that first vote you just told us about, noon tomorrow, noon on Saturday.
No,
Senator,
I'm not saying that we definitely will. I'm saying I've asked John and Mike to set a deadline of noon tomorrow, and I hope they will take my advice.
Got it. Okay. Senator, and thank you for clearing that. Senator, I want to ask you about the U.S. Supreme Court decision. It's big. It just happened moments ago. The court ruled to limit the use of a nationwide injunction that temporarily blocked President Trump's executive order.
Oh, this is perfect. Okay, I didn't listen to this all the way through. I thought that it was just on the bill. All right, good job, Storm. I got a 2 for on this one. Because with let's keep it. That's a good thing we ended up doing these news desk things, because the news cycle is moving so fast. By the time we get to Sunday, we can only cover a couple things. And I really think we're doing a public service doing like these news reviews, like media analysis stuff, because I think it helps everybody see through all the gaslighting. Quiet Storm chat. Now keep in mind, he said he is willing to work throughout the weekend to get it done. The goal is to get the bill to Trump by July 4th. All right. Look at you on top. Look at you on top of things, Storm. Yo, it really is a team effort over here, guys. What was I saying? Yeah, so the news cycle is moving so quickly, and I think like leading up to last November, during the election season, that I think that we did a good public service, just shifting the bent of our Sunday content more political and talking through what was going on leading up to the election. Matrix Media in the building. What up, Playboy? We at the 53-minute mark. I'll be here for about 2 hours, so we got another hour to go. But I think we did a good public service with that, because I think, with us constantly clowning Kamala and Biden and everything, and really just, calling us, shooting it down the middle, doing some humor, I think it really helped change and us talking about policy, I think it really helped change the perspective for brothers in this space. It gave them good talking points. When they were arguing with their family and friends about, I think brothers made informed decisions for themselves about Trump. I think more so because they had the vocabulary, they had the conversation, and they had the dialogue. I don't think that we told anybody what to do. I think that we looked at the stuff. We had a mature conversation amongst the men about it. It was the Knights of the Round Table, and we engaged the audience, and then brothers made up their own mind. Do you know what I'm saying? But I think they were better able to make informed decisions. Oh, Quiet Storm, thank you very much, sir. Quiet Storm with the $5 super chat. He says, since I can't tip the DJ, I'll tip the news anchor man instead. LOL. Thank you guys, man. This little, y'all guys just don't know, like that little stuff keeps me motivated, man. We pumping out a lot of content on this channel lately. Trying to force growth and pay some bills, man. F all you hoes.
Man, fuck all you hoes. Fuck you and your mammy and your granny too. Man, fuck all you hoes. I'm sick of this shit. Fuck all you hoes. Man, fuck all you. Don't give a damn, bitch, what you wanna do.
So this first segment with Senator Kennedy talking about the bill, I'm pretty sure with the news cycle this week with Iran and everything else, we damn near almost forgot about the bill. So it's very important do some commentary on this, where it's at with the bill, and why getting this bill passed is so important. Like I said, it is the biggest. It's the biggest collection of tax cuts for the middle class in U.S. history. So this is one of the first bills with the middle class heavily focused in terms of cuts and incentives. And it's a beautiful thing, and it's him delivering on his promise to his constituents. Like I said, I think one of the biggest things with Trump is that he was a billionaire before he got elected. He can't be bought. He don't need nobody's money. Special interests can't touch him. He's going to get in there and do what he said he was going to do. All right, let's jump to the second part, because the second part, I actually do want to hear Senator Kennedy's take on his birthright citizens ruling.
Ending birthright citizenship. It sets the stage for more action on all of those nationwide injunctions against the president's agenda so far. So this has bigger implications than just that one topic of birthright citizenship. Your reaction to this?
The Supreme Court has turned the universal injunctions into fish food, as well it should have. There's no basis in statute. There's no basis in Supreme Court.
And don't let Senator Kennedy's country twang fool you. He's a brilliant legal mind, brilliant, an attorney himself. And right off the gate, he's going to run it down. No standing in statute, no standard. Yeah, let's go.
Precedent. There's no basis in English common law for universal injunctions. Judges who just dislike what Congress and any president has done, just made them up. And good riddance. I'm proud of the Supreme Court. It's a very extensive ruling. You can tell it from Justice Jackson's dissent. She's mad as a bag of cats. And
boom, shots fired. And I don't know if I'm going to do a minor section of the dissent on a Sunday show or just on a news desk clip, just go through the dissent, because one, it's trash, and then I'll just do a culmination of her just getting dragged all over the internet. But most importantly, she got dragged by her fellow colleague on the Supreme Court in the rebuttal to her dissent, and it is utterly humiliating and embarrassing. But what can we expect when someone who during their confirmation was asked, what is a woman? And she could not answer the question.
And that's probably a good thing for the American people.
Look, we're expecting to hear from the president just moments from now at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, and he's already put on his Truth Social, and we can share that again if my team puts it up, that this is a victory. He says that the United States Supreme Court, even the birthright citizenship hoax, has been indirectly hit hard. It had to do with the babies of slaves, same year, not the scamming of our...
Bang. Listen, man, I keep telling... Look, so Trump said that at the press conference. And because he said it, mainstream media has to take that quote and reiterate it when they're referencing this story. And it was meant, birthright citizenship is meant for the babies of slaves, and it's the outcome, and it was 14th Amendment is right after the Civil War was won. So it was for black men. The babies of black men, ADOS and FBA black men, shot across the bow, baby.
Our immigration process. Congratulations to Attorney General Pam Bondi, Solicitor General John Sauer, and the entire DOJ. News conference at the White House, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. What are you expecting, and what would you like to hear from the president?
Well, number one, the Supreme Court did not rule on birthright citizenship. The Supreme Court ruled on universal injunctions. As I said, they turned universal injunctions into fish food. They should have. We have three equal branches of government. One of those is the judicial system. They're equal. They're not superior. They don't get to rewrite congressional actions or presidential actions every other Thursday because they don't agree with them. That's just not the way our founders intended it, and I'm proud of the Supreme Court today.
Look, let me ask you about those judges across the country and how it would seem, and they would have to defend against this because it certainly appears in many instances that this is continuing to be lawfare against the current president, and it's not supposed to be that way. I mean, the scales of justice are not supposed to tip politically one way or the other. Why do you think we're seeing what we're seeing against Trump?
Well, both sides have abused it. And by it, I mean universal injunctions. The Democrats more than the Republicans, but both sides have abused it. And it's illegal. There's no basis for it in law. And I've just been waiting for the Supreme Court to do this. I mean, anybody who knows a law book from an LL Bean catalog knows that federal judges just made up this concept of universal injunctions. There's no basis in statute, no basis in Supreme Court precedent. There's no basis in English common law. They just made it up because they don't agree with what a president or Congress has done. You know, if they disagree, you know, I'm sorry. Fill out a hurt feelings report, buy a comfort rock. But they can't just say.
He said, buy a comfort rock? Word? Fill out a hurt feelings report? Yo, that's hilarious. A comfort rock?
I disagree, and I'm putting the entire action by another branch of government on hold because I don't like it. And that's what they've been doing. And they're not the superior branch of government. They're an equal branch of government.
They're also subverting the power and the will of the people, which is a complicated matter with a president who won the popular vote and all of the battleground states just last November. I mean, America made a decision, and I don't believe, and you sit on the Judiciary Committee, I don't believe that anyone has the right to take that apart.
Well, look, Congress makes mistakes. Presidents make mistakes. There's nothing wrong with a federal judge saying, I think you got this one wrong. But the federal judge can do that and render a judgment on the parties in his or her court. That federal judge can't do it for the entire nation.
Right.
And that's what they've been doing. They've been acting like politicians in robes, like many legislators. And the Constitution does not give them that power.
Before I let you go, in terms of the president's agenda, his vision, I know we talked already about the big, beautiful bill, but there are things that he's trying to do right now to answer the call that was put out there by all of the illegal immigration that flowed unvetted, those aliens into this country, all during ex-President Biden's term. He's trying to do things not only to cull that, but also to set into place that you send the worst back first. Will this help that course?
Yes. Yes. And look, in 100 plus days, President Trump has secured the border. Now we're trying to figure out what criminals, what drug dealers, what human traffickers President Biden and my Democratic friends who believe in open borders let into our country. And we're trying to get them out. Now that takes more money. That's why we're going to pass this reconciliation bill. But I consider it one of the president's biggest accomplishments. The other thing that's coming down the pike, the president has sent us what's called a rescission package, Harris. Okay. $9.7 billion of spending porn that Congress has previously passed that he's asking us to throw out. We need to pass that. That includes money for public television. I don't hate public television. I just don't think the American taxpayer ought to subsidize any form of the media, not Fox, not CNN, not the New York Times, and not the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. I don't think that's how taxpayers want their dollars spent, and Congress needs to pass that too. The House already has. Now, the Senate has got to take it up next, and shame on us if we don't pass the president's request.
That's a lot of money, 9.7 billion in, as you called it, spending porn. All those things that you say, yeah, we can cut on that. And that's also in the pipeline here. I appreciate so much your time. We're leading up with this breaking news, Senator, and it is always wonderful to have you in focus and get your perspective.
Hey, everyone. All
right, perfect. All right, good segment, courtesy of Quiet Storm. And I got a twofer for that one. So that's perfect. I got the no rights, the birthright, and update on the bill. All right, I want to load up what I'm gonna do next. Yeah, I'm gonna do Jasmine. All right, I see we got a couple more people in here. I'm glad I waited. So I want to do. I did it brief. I briefly touched on this the other night because it was fresh. So Jasmine Cockett, and we're gonna use my guy Soldiers of Finance to do the review, because we called it that they were putting Jasmine Cockett up. They was going to be putting Jasmine Cockett. Yo, StreamYard just be wanting to do whatever the hell it want to do, bro. That shit be crazy. Be starting your videos without you, everything. Nigga. No, but they got Jasmine. They had after Kamala lost, they put her all out in the forefront and told her to act ratchet. If you look at we pulled up the old videos of her talking like a not a Valley girl, but a girl who went to private school, like how they talk, like a Connecticut girl. And they got her all out there acting ratchet, doing the attack Trump thing, blah blah blah, and they was just using her as a minstrel show because she got ahead of her britches. She was all on. We got some of the clips talking about she's going to run for leadership, appropriations committee, oversight committee. Bruh, behind closed doors, man, they shut her down. She came last. She had to drop out. It's a beautiful thing. And you could tell she is woefully embarrassed. I love it. So let me play this and we'll load up this clip. Well, actually, it's more than a clip. We'll load up the next segment. And let's have some less at Jasmine Crockett's expense.
And the award for best screenplay goes to
My Demonic Coochie Monster Ate My Pastor by Quan Mills.
We want to make it big in this industry, we're going to have to sacrifice some shit. Ice, JJ Fish had to sacrifice some shit. YB and Amir had to sacrifice some shit. What do y'all think it takes to be great like them?
Maybe I am the problem.
I ain't going no 50-50. She paying 100% of the rent, and I'm going to give her 100% of this meat.
All equipped with our advanced patent-pending throat goat technology.
Keisha, this connection is like trash. Fuck out my way, bitch! Oops. Keisha, you still there? I deadass think I hit a pothole. Oh my gosh. Well, that was already, like, that dent though. Oh my God. Did you not see me coming out of the building? I literally had the right of way. Deadass. Literally not my problem.
So you think you got what it takes?
I'll tell you what I got. Your wife's pussy on my breath.
Nobody's ever talked to me like that before.
That's because everyone's mouth is usually full of your wife's box.
You're hired.
Shit.
Ooh, look at me slam my curly wave blonde wig. Ha ha. That's not your natural color, bitch. The only color you should be worried about is which color palette they finna use on you at the morgue, ho.
All right, Belle, let's go. Let's load up this next segment. All right, this is my guy, Soldier of Finance. I really like that I've been finding all these black guys making political content, and their channels are pretty big. So I know I'm in the right niche as well. But we've done some of his commentary before, and he's spot on. So that's he put I haven't watched this all the way through, but true to form, like we called it, Jasmine Crockett being used as a tool by the Democratic Party, and she's getting but internally. So basically, they want her out there as the minstrel. But they have made it abundantly clear. Real power inside the party, the ability to make real decisions. Oh, you'll be getting none of that. So let's run through it.
The House Oversight Committee.
But I will tell you that I will take a broken, or however they want to describe Joe Biden, over Donald Trump any given day. Because number one, I know Joe Biden's heart.
And to understand enough about the Constitution to the extent that I'm the one that's supposed to make the fucking decision, or at least get a vote.
Yo, they be sending these Keishas out here to do monkey business, bro. Monkey business.
But it's Ron just telling me.
Y'all don't know what white privilege looks like, but I'm gonna show you a little bit of something. They send them to Texas, they send them to Florida. Every deplorable state that we can think about, they usually coming out of y'all's think tank.
This is not what we should be doing. I don't even know why we fighting with Greenland. Why we fighting with Greenland? We fighting with Canada. We fighting with Mexico. Yet we in love with Putin. What is happening? Like, this is not America. This is a terrible nightmare. Somebody slap me and wake me the fuck up, because I'm ready to get on with it.
Who was the ranking member on House Oversight Committee, on which you sit on. As you know, obviously, he recently passed away.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are wondering if you are going to run for ranking member.
And I will add something that shout out to Kevin Samuels. He's the one that told brothers, protect your ethnic image at all costs. And I think the brothers have been doing a good job at that. But Keisha's ethnic image is in the toilet. And we're seeing the ethnic image albatross around their neck playing out with this Jasmine Cockett thing.
Member, or do you have your sights set on higher office here in Texas?
I am running for a ranker, for sure. I am running.
Now, every time I do a Jasmine Cockett video, there are the Jasmine Cockett fan club. They come out of the woodwork. And thank you for that, because you help the videos. You help the algorithm. I appreciate it. And a lot of people make comments in support of her, but they never address the question of why is it she chose to affect a ghetto persona when she has quite an exceptional educational pedigree that includes Oxford. Okay. So why did she choose to go out there and act?
Well, I didn't know she went to Oxford. Yeah. So this is a complete minstrel, and she comes from money. This is a complete minstrel affectation. So I knew about the private schooling and the neighborhood she grew up. I didn't know she went to, but bear in mind, her private school, high school that she went to is equivalent to, in terms of payment, it's like $30,000 a year. This is the 9th grade through 12th grade. That's college tuition prices.
Like a ghetto superstar. And now she's kind of surprised that the Democrats have chosen to ignore her. And they've made it clear that she's not going to get that House Oversight Committee head position because she just doesn't have it. All right. But with regard to Jasmine Cockett, there's another aspect of this. The Democrats, there is an internal struggle going on there between the old guard and the new guard. Now, we saw David Hogg. We saw what happened to him. The Democrats went in and, they love to reverse elections, right? And play around with the democratic process of electing someone. So you saw how they just quashed the election of David Hogg to vice chair of the Democrat National Committee. They just wiped it out. Okay, he was voted in and they said, you know what? We don't like it. So we're going to change the rules after the fact. All right. And so he's quit the party. Now, he's still a Democrat, still a Marxist, but he quit the Democrat Party. Jasmine Cockett, same thing. Okay. Now, David Hogg was at least able to articulate some hardcore ideas about what he wanted to see happen. He had an agenda. All Jasmine Cockett had.
Facts. He's spot on. She's just a walking collection of platitudes, talking points, and Democratic keyword rhetoric. She has no ideas. She's passed no legislation, no bills or anything since she's been in that district. And her district, just like AOC, is a shithole, or at least hers is being turned into one. And bear in mind, she's not even from that area in Texas. She's a carpetbagger. She was hand selected by Maxine Waters to go down there and try to shift the electoral composition.
Is Trump hate. And again, for some strange reason, this ghetto affectation, why she would do that and disgrace the legacy of people like Barbara Jordan, for example, who was a statesman, okay, who was just so poised and reasoned and intellectually grounded. That's not what we're seeing from Jasmine Crockett, right? So it's easy to deny her the position that she was seeking. And it also says that the Democrats might not be so confident that you're going to be around for a while, right? Because otherwise they would try to, support you. Are the Democrats also...
Storm say you mean Maxine Waters, aka the Democratic Crypt Keeper? Yeah, her wig looked bulletproof, bruh.
telegraphing the notion that they're trying to move away from these overt radicals. Okay, I don't know about that. It could be. I've always said that they're positioning Jasmine Crockett as the next Maxine Waters. All right. Loudmouth. No real legislative accomplishments to speak of. Maxine Waters, in almost 40 years in Congress, has only sponsored one successful piece of legislation that made it to the president's desk and was signed. Now, I know that's a good thing, right? Because Maxine Waters is off her damn rocker. But it shows you why they have her there. Just as a rabble rouser. That's it. She's not there to do the actual hard work of legislation. All right. And that's not what Jasmine Crockett is for. They've identified her and she fell into this trap. Jasmine Crockett allowed herself to become a victim of the white liberals that run the Democrat Party. They promised her a spot on the Sunday shows. They promised...
Bro, this is what, it's great listening to other people's analysis and stuff and see how much it falls in line with the analysis or the conclusions you came to on your own. This is spot on. She was Kamala Harris went down in flames, and so they tried to real quickly find themselves another Keisha, a young Keisha. And like I said, she fell victim to the liberal white elites of the party, and they use her as a tool, and they're letting her know, like, nah, you're not going to get any leadership. You go out there, you monkey dance for us. You monkey dance. You corral the Negroes back on the plantation. That's your job.
Promised her that she would get a higher profile and we're going to make you a star, basically. And they have. But they're not giving her the substantive jobs that she, as an attorney, this girl's got ambition, right? Nothing wrong with that. And as an attorney, she doesn't feel like she's going to top out as just a member of Congress, right? She wanted to do more, but the white liberals that run the Democrat Party said no. The way it's going to be is like this. If we're going to give you star power, okay, then what you're going to do is you're just going to play the role. You're going to be our step and fetch it, okay, our lightning rod. That's all you're going to be. Representative Jasmine Crockett drops bid for influential post on the House Oversight Panel. The representative, Jasmine Crockett, withdrew from the race to become the top Democrat on the powerful House Oversight Committee, marking the Dallas Democrats' second defeat in her attempt to climb the ranks of congressional leadership. Crockett confirmed her decision to bow out of the race in a text to the Texas Tribune early Tuesday. So yes, it was the second time that she tried for a leadership position. Second time she's lost. And here's an update. House Democrats picked Representative Robert Garcia. Okay, so Mfume didn't get picked because Black people are yesterday's news in the Democrat Party. You can see it by the way Brandon Johnson runs Chicago. Okay, so Mfume, he's out. Kwesi Mfume was not born with that name. He's from Baltimore. His real name, or his previous name rather, was frizzle gray. Okay, Kwasi Mfume is not from the shores of Angola. He's from Baltimore, West Baltimore. And so Garcia trumps Mfume. House Democrats picked Representative Robert Garcia as their ranking member on the 47-person panel late Tuesday morning. The California Democrat defeated the remaining rival in the race, who was Representative Stephen Lynch. Okay, that would have been a high-profile position for her. Cockett, who has cultivated a large social media following and is widely seen as a rising star in the party. Is she? Is she a rising star? Okay, you got a lot of social media fans. Good for you. You're not translating that well into growth in the Congress, though. So, once again, the Democrats prove what I've always said about Jasmine Crockett. They don't take her seriously. All right? They're not going to give her anything that, has her really in a substantive position out front. Sure, they let her get on TV and make a fool of herself and dance around. Yeah, they'll let her do that all day. Okay? But you see, when it comes to the real deal, she's not going to get anywhere close to it. You end up like Maxine Waters if she stays around. Just a puppet on a string. Another, just another congressperson. Yeah, she'll get TV time and whatnot, but no real claim to fame.
All right, perfect. Spot on. Yo, I like this. Yo, all the smart money, all the thinking black men, no matter where you're finding them on the internet or where you're finding them in your everyday life walking around, it's a thing of beauty seeing most of us calling it like almost exactly down the middle. Like I said, man, it's a great time to be alive as an American black man. It's a great time to be alive. All the cards are in our favor, man, and it's up to us to fucking play it right. Shout out to Quiet Storm. He said, "Well played, sir. Soldier of finance." Exactly. Hey, let's give him a well played, sir. Right? Let's give him a. Like I said, I mean, I'm encouraged seeing all these black male content creators. Like I said, and they've got a lot of these guys. Like Ron Yates, we covered. We did his review on the Iran sleeper cell thing. He's got 700,000 subscribers. So a lot of black men doing political commentary and news commentary. I end up finding them because I'm clip farming for the show and everything. But we're out here, and a lot of us have very big audiences. So forget what you heard, man. The thinking black man is in vogue, and we are gaining ground every day, and it's getting more difficult for either party or interest group or Keisha, what have you, to pull the wool over our eyes. And I like that we are playing the game with our interests in mind. That's fundamentally the most important thing. Let's load up this next segment. We're at the 1 hour, 25 minute mark. All right, cool. Let's do Trump's best week ever, and then we'll end with a little bit of liberals melting down. Sunday show is tomorrow. Sunday night show is tomorrow. So we do Sunday live panel. That means I'll be back on Monday with a news desk, and we'll do a by the numbers at the end of the segment on Monday. Actually starting to look forward to doing those by the numbers segments. The least popular segment is actually turning out to be my favorite. It's just because the numbers. I like watching dudes go through charts and shit, nerd shit. All right, let's do this Trump's best week ever, and then we'll do a little bit of liberals melting down. We'll get up out of here. Thanks for hanging out with me on a Saturday night. I'm in the crib. No demon time tonight. I said I might as well go on. And then I'll get to clip this up for long form content too. So it's a win-win for everybody. What Storm say? He said by the numbers be my favorite part. I'm a huge nerd and follow the numbers. Yo, but the by the numbers part, it explains so much of what's going on. You really be seeing like, they're lying. You could see it. I love the by the numbers segment. And I think our guy over at Rasmussen might have a new data set by Monday. And we can go everything. I believe the last by the numbers segment we did was breaking down the numbers for public sentiment and approval for Trump's Iran foray. And when we broke down the numbers, the general public was in favor. All right, so let's let me play a couple clips for you guys while I load up the next segment. Here's lead attorney.
Wake up in the house, I look up, I see girls everywhere. I see bales everywhere. I see scales everywhere. I see hair and everywhere. I get mail everywhere. I get mail everywhere. I get mail everywhere. I get mail everywhere. Girls everywhere. I see bales everywhere. I see scales everywhere. I see hair and everywhere. I get mail everywhere.
My nigga.
Wake up in the house, I look up, I see girls everywhere. I see bales everywhere. I see scales everywhere. I see hair and everywhere. I get mail everywhere. I get mail everywhere. I get mail everywhere. I get mail everywhere. Girls everywhere. I see bales everywhere. I see scales everywhere. I see hair and everywhere. I get mail everywhere.
My nigga.
Wake up in the house, I look up, I see girls everywhere. I see bales everywhere. I see scales everywhere. I see hair and everywhere. I get mail everywhere. I get mail everywhere. I get mail everywhere. I get mail everywhere. Girls everywhere. I see bales everywhere.
Riker, my good fortune is your good fortune.
I don't need your fantasy women.
Oh, you're so stolid. You weren't like that before the beard. Very well. Riker.
Then your light shall spring forth. Then you shall call, and the Lord shall answer. Then you shall cry, and the Lord shall say,
Yeah, man, Storm, you said Rasmussen. Yeah, Rasmussen has become part of the show, just like the Wrench Turner. Yeah, Wrench Turner closing the clip shows. Hell yeah. Oh yeah, the Wrench Turner closing the clip shows? That ain't going nowhere. That was just that was a random Turner going into God mode, just spilling off of the top of the head, just killing it. And we just managed to clip it, man. And I had the right audio right behind it, and I was just like, "Yo, he knocked it out the park." So we end all the shows that way, like, because he encapsulated everything. He encapsulated the whole, what is it, like, sentiment and vibe of what we doing down here in this space, this channel in particular. And he just like he just locked it in like 3 minutes. You know, Wrench got that voice and everything too. That little soul beat behind it, man, it kills it. It just kills. I had people, sending me, what do you call it? Leaving comments, and, yo, who's that guy talking at the end of the clip show? That Wrench Turner guy. Yeah, man. He said a mouthful, like, hell yeah. Phil Watt for the building. How about Chewbacca? Is there a part of the show? We can have a Chewbacca part of the show. Bro, send me like some pictures of Chewbacca. I'll make like a skin and I'll make a Chewbacca drop. I swear to God I will. How about Chewbacca biting all them 304s? Hell yeah, bro. Yo, send me some pictures of Chewbacca. I'll make a Chewbacca clip. I'm good at that. I'll make a Chewbacca drop just for you, bro. Put it on the skin and everything. Phil Watt for the building. All right, guys. We're at the 131 minute mark. Let's do Trump's best week ever, and it just got even better. Let's do that, and then we might have enough time for a little segment of lefties losing it. And that's courtesy of Sky News Australia. They do a segment called Lefties Losing It, and it's hilarious. All right, so Jesse Waters it is. Oh, come on, bro.
Court and a big loss for rogue liberal judges. Small ball district judges are no longer allowed to stop the president's agenda. Liberal lawyers can't sue every time Trump acts and get an Obama-Biden judge to issue a nationwide injunction. The ruling was 6-3. Trump stopped by the briefing room to take a victory lap.
Well, this was a big one, wasn't it? This was a big decision. This morning, the Supreme Court has...
Trump funny. Well, this was a big one, wasn't it? This was a big one. This was a big one, wasn't it?
Delivered a monumental victory for the Constitution, the separation of powers, and the rule of law. It gives power back to people that should have it, including Congress, including the presidency. And it only takes bad power away from judges. It doesn't take it takes bad power, sick power, and unfair power. And it's really going to be, this is a very monumental decision.
Bondi was there, and she said the nation just got a lot safer.
You should all feel safer now that President Trump can deport all of these gangs, and not one district court judge can think they're an emperor over this administration and his executive powers and why the people of the United States elected him.
Among other things, rogue judges were stopping Trump from eliminating birthright citizenship.
All right, this is a perfect segment. This kind of sums up a piece of my segment I did. And look at it, too. Sotomayor and Ketanji Brown Jackson. Listen, man, I'm telling you, this Ketanji Brown Jackson thing is going to work out in our favor over the long run. It's already showing. Because she is like the first official DEI Supreme Court justice. And here's the problem. At the Supreme Court, all of your incompetencies are recorded for public record forever. And this is the way she's being destroyed in this dissent. Like, bro, if she doesn't get up to speed or get in line, the level of her being out of her depth is going to be recorded for history. And this is the first Keisha Supreme Court justice. Say what you want. They tried to say Clarence Thomas was an affirmative action appointee. He is proven to be anything but. He's a titan now. He's a titan. So this is a good A/B testing scenario. We got Clarence Thomas, and Clarence Thomas chewed glass and walked over fire to get appointed. And say what you want about George Bush Sr. He was legit putting Clarence Thomas up for that. And like back then, and Clarence Thomas is the first victim of Me Too with that Anita Hill. With that Anita Hill thing. But like I said, through it all, he has turned out to be one of the titans on the Supreme Court. He's the big dog now. And all of his opinions, dissents, etc., those are all recorded for history. So now, like I said, this is good A and B testing. We got the black man up there. Now we got a DEI Keisha, and let's see if her tenure is as stellar as Justice Thomas, because she is already off to a rough start, and she is being destroyed. But we should have known this was coming when doing her when doing her confirmation. She couldn't tell you what a woman was. International Quiet Storm says Trump has become ruthless to the media, as very well he should be. The OF deport all these 304s. I believe they are working on it. Quiet Storm, send them both to El Salvador. Let them both meet in person the criminals they are trying to protect. Larry Perry in the building. Let's go.
So after this ruling, birthright citizenship is getting fast-tracked to the Supreme Court. Justices hear the case in October.
Thanks for this decision, and thanks to this decision, we can now promptly file to proceed with numerous policies that have been wrongly enjoined on a nationwide basis. And some of the cases we're talking about would be ending birthright citizenship, which now comes to the fore. That was meant for the babies of slaves. It wasn't meant for...
Bang. There you go. There you go. There you go. That's not random, him saying that. That's him saying this was meant for the black men who fought in the Civil War, spilled their blood, and we had to amend the Constitution to guarantee that the children of these heroes were confirmed citizens of the United States. Full birthright citizens. And it wasn't meant for these foreign nationals to come over and piggyback on that loophole and benefit off of the blood of these American heroes. That's really what he's saying.
People trying to scam the system and come into the country on a vacation.
Lawfare is officially dead. Frivolous lawsuits were the only thing slowing down the Trump agenda. With Democrats out of power, radical lawyers were the only resistance. Finally, a random judge in Maryland isn't more powerful than the President of the United States.
This is a big win for President Trump.
Such a big win for the Trump administration. And not just Donald John Trump, the person, but the office of the president. Whoever comes next is going to get the benefit of this ruling too.
DOJ cuts, so-called anchor babies, sanctuary cities, banning child sex change surgeries, all get free and fair hearings at the Supreme Court immediately. The Supreme Court just admitted Trump wasn't abusing his power. Out-of-control judges were. They lost the case and the moral high ground. More good news for America. The stock market just hit an all-time high today. Sorry, Panikins. And top economists are confessing that Trump was right about tariffs.
Mr. President, a leading global economist just did a 180 and says your tariff plan, you may have outsmarted everybody with it. What is your message?
I love this. I love this question. This is the
Trump is funny. Oh, say they so. I was right. Their wife says, if we deport all them 304s to Canada, the polar bears will have an endless buffet. Only if they eat fat meat, bro. Theo, did you hear about the alligator Alcatraz in Florida? All right, we might have to pull up the alligator Alcatraz after this 139. We should have enough time. We'll push back the lefties the lefties losing it segment. Let's play a piece of that alligator segment after this. Hold on, this segment's almost over.
favorite. This is the best question I've ever been asked because I've been going through abuse for years on this. Because as you know,
Trump is funny. It's the best question I've ever been asked. Oh, are they saying I'm right? Of course I'm right.
Hundreds of billions of dollars, no inflation whatsoever.
It didn't end there. Gas prices just hit 4-year lows right before summer. So cheap that Congress can drive to work next week to watch Trump sign his big, beautiful bill.
Everyone working together, Leader Thune, Speaker Johnson, with President Trump's assistance, have been able to move narrow majorities forward. And I think we're going to be able to bring this home. The president will be signing the bill on July 4th.
You know what goes well with beer, barbecue, and fireworks? No tax on tips. Trump isn't even taking credit for it. He's giving it to a beautiful waitress.
I will never say good-looking waitress because looks don't matter anymore, you know, in our modern society. She happened to be beautiful, but I won't say that.
Yo, Trump is hilarious. He's like, his looks don't matter anymore. Yo, he's really figured out how to play this media game. He's really the first official social media ready president. You know how Kennedy Kennedy became the first made-for-television president, and he changed the whole game? Because maybe we'll find a clip. There's this debate where actually, if you listen to it on the radio or you just listened to it audioly, Nixon actually won that debate. But since the debate was on television, Kennedy just looked vibrant and witty and sharp, and he showed up good on television. And Nixon looked he looked stark, and he looked tired, and he looked haggard. So actually, Kennedy ended up winning that debate off of perception. I use that analogy to say, and we saw it happening during his first term with Trump, when he started posting on Twitter, and everybody was laughing at it and making a big deal about it. Now you see, now all the politicians are on Twitter, and like Twitter is now like an official news channel. Trump did that. Trump made that popular. And like I said, now even with his quips and dealing with the media and everything else like that, he's the first made for social media president. That there's an argument that could be made that he's the archetype for the new modern presidency.
I won't mention that, but nevertheless, a waitress came over and I said, "How are you doing?" She said, "Not good, sir." "Why?" "The government is killing me on tips." And she looked at me, she said, "Sir, there should be no tax on tips." I said, "Say it again." "There should be no tax on tips." I said, "That's the coolest thing I've ever heard."
Now, the media wouldn't let him leave.
Quiet Storm says gas dropped 50 cents in June alone. I see the results at the pump. Yeah, guys, we're on the right side of history with this one. Bear in mind, man hasn't even been in office 200 days.
Donald Trump was in the briefing room for an hour. That's more time in one day than Biden was in the briefing room his whole term.
By the way, so many questions. Should we keep this going, Pam?
Yeah, I was saying this before. This is the most transparent presidency with regard to the president. You can pretty much ask his administration anything. He'll send the people out. Look, this is him at the press gaggle saying, "Hey, you want me to keep going?"
This is the opposite of Biden. Biden would take a half a question and he'd leave without answering it.
He didn't stop there. Today, he signed another peace deal, this time in Africa. Rwanda and the Congo came to the White House to end their
Bro, this is such a big deal. This is such a big deal. I remember the first, well, Rwanda is like, it's nice now, but I remember the initial genocide in Rwanda between the Hutus and the Tutsis, and they were hacking each other to death with machetes. All during the Biden administration and everything. Like I said, they've let this genocide go on in Africa nonstop. But while diverting all their attention to Ukraine, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, Trump's handling this thing with Iran, Israel. He's handling it with Russia, Ukraine. He's passing bills. He's fighting the Supreme Court, and during all that, he manages to fucking resolve the Rwandan Congo genocide conflict right under everybody's nose, bro. This is major, bro.
30-year war. The peace treaty was brokered by Trump and Rubio, and the Africans say Biden just hung up the phones on them.
Many American presidents overlooked this conflict. They didn't do nothing.
Yo, this chick is freaking beautiful in the face. And when I saw this clip, that's what I was thinking the whole time. And then you don't realize until later on in the clip that that's what Trump's thinking too. Because he was like, "Yo, Carolyn said it. I'm not going to say, but my God, you're beautiful." Yeah, exactly. Yo, you peeped it too. You saw the clip too. Trump was trying to get the Congo woman under the desk. He missed his wife in the White House. Red Sigma, 300K deleted in the afternoon in Rwanda. Hell yeah, bro. And those numbers was crazy. And bro, they was doing that with machetes. Brett Sigma with the $2 super chat. He says, "At work watching. Hey, I'm glad I can hang out with you guys on a Saturday, man. Like, you guys got Quiet Storm to thank for this, man. Quiet Storm talked me into doing these news desk things dolo. And I'm getting comfortable with it. I'm actually enjoying these. Because I actually go farm clip for news all the time anyway. I might as well stream it. Courtesy of Red Stigma, guys. F all you hoes.
Man, fuck all you hoes. Fuck you and your mammy and your granny too. And fuck all you hoes. I'm sick of this shit. Fuck all you hoes. And fuck all you. Don't give a damn, bitch, what you wanna do. And fuck all you hoes.
All right, bet. Let's yeah, this this chick is beautiful in the face, just like facial bone structure and beautiful teeth and everything. So let's let some of this play.
Even myself, I cover President Biden's administration. I pressed many times about this conflict. People are dying in Congo. This country has so much potential, but they need help because this war is destroying the country.
That's right.
They never gave me any answer.
I shouldn't say this because it's politically incorrect. She said, she's beautiful and you are beautiful. I'm not allowed to say that, that could be the end of my political.
Yo. Because see, I thought that when I was watching the show, like how Trump was looking at her, I think he was looking at her like, God damn, this broad is beautiful. Because to this day, I still believe he knocked Omarosa off.
Career myself anyway, but you are beautiful and you're beautiful inside.
Soon Africa will be calling him daddy too. Of course, Trump got a little something from the deal. The M word.
Was able to get them together and sell it. And not only that, we're getting for the United States a lot of the mineral rights from the Congo as part of it. They're so honored to be here. They never thought they'd be coming to, look, this is a very tough part of the world. They never thought, they were just telling me, they never thought they'd ever be coming to the White House.
It was a historic day at the White House. But Canada was in the room and they tried to make it all about themselves.
It's not Canada. This is about Canada.
Why not? Yo, Trump is a savage, bro. He shuts down this Canada shit real quick. Quiet Storm says, hey, just try to give you guys more content to watch while on third shift. Hell yeah, Foreign Beauty, Red Sigma. Right, look at everyone in the room laughing. And then facts, yeah. Once again, guys, important to note, just fact, Biden administration let this genocide go on. They sent all that money to Ukraine. Trump managed to broker this peace, like in not necessarily in his spare time. Look at everything he's got going on, and he manages this under the radar. You see what I'm saying to you? That shows you where the priorities are. Oh, Theo Waff, $2 super chat. He says, I tapped that. Oh yeah, she's beautiful, man. I tell you, Rwanda and Ethiopia, but Rwanda. They got the chicks with the supermodel, the black supermodel look, bro. They do. I've been checking them out. Rwanda, they got the long necks, long torso, that swan look, beautiful faces, man. It's good. It's a good gene pool down there, man.
Man, fuck all you hoes. Fuck you and your mammy and your granny too. And fuck all you hoes. I'm sick of this shit. Fuck all you hoes. And fuck all you. Don't give a damn, bitch, what you wanna do. And fuck all you hoes.
All right, bet. Let's let a little bit more of this play. Oh wow, that time went fast. We're already at 150. We might not be able to get the libs meltdown. I'm gonna have to save that for Monday. I gotta get this bad boy on rotation. Yeah, more stuff to add to Trump's revenue. Let me see. Red Sigma says this was the Elon deal. Send over some of his folks. South Africa gets government contract. Hell yeah. And mineral rights. But like I said, we're brokering mineral rights with deals with everybody. Ukraine, and we'll give them a much better deal than China. Well, at least under this administration.
No, why not Canada, by the way?
Why?
I mean,
Because this is about a different subject right now. This is right now actually a much more important subject. We just ended a war that was going on for 30 years where 6 million people died. So don't ask me a trade question on Canada.
The only way Canada can get our attention. 51st state, or we can't hear you. We're too busy doing deals.
We've had a big week. We've had a big week. We've had a lot of victories this week. NATO was a tremendous victory. The war was a tremendous. Look, we were talking about this for 30 years, about Iran being nuclear. And all I said is it will not be nuclear, and it's not going to be nuclear. And, I want to give credit to a lot of people, and most importantly to our great military. Boy, they put out that fire. Once that happened, once those bombs got dropped, that war was over. That war was over, but I just want to compliment them.
You know who isn't having a big week? The Ayatollah. He's hiding in his cave, and he's lying through his teeth.
I'm going to respond to the Ayatollah's statement yesterday that we won the war. Oh, God, we won the war. And I said, look, you're a man of great faith, a man who's highly respected in this country. You have to tell the truth. You got beat to hell. As you know, their sites were obliterated. They're very evil nuclear sites. Now has been proven. They hit it right down in the spot, 52,000 feet. Think of this dark, no moon. You couldn't see a thing. And they hit the refrigerator door, as they say. That's the size of a target. And overwhelmingly, and it's amazing what was done. We're the only ones that could have done it.
Donald Trump says he's the only thing keeping the Ayatollah alive. Quote, I wish the leadership of Iran would realize that you often get more with honey than you do with vinegar. Peace. Democrats are singing the same tune as the Ayatollah. They say our bombs don't work, and they don't say thank you.
They're just finding something to attack them. I mean, that's it. There is no position. There is no goal. There is no set of ideas. It is just, what can we find a way to attack Trump? How can we say that he's a failure, or what he did is not a success? Or I just, at this point, you start to lose credibility when on every single instance, you're just saying, nope, not good. Nope, not good. Nope, not good.
Trump gave a beautiful waitress credit for no tax on tips. Why can't Democrats give him credit for the Iranian hit? The party split. Some are calling the president a war criminal, and others are calling him an American hero.
I don't agree with the president of the United States. Do not, on many, many issues. But you have to admire that when the United States says all options are on the table, he just proved all options are on the table. And China and Russia and even North Korea have to step back, because that has a level of deterrence. So
Bang, that's Rahm Emanuel. I said this earlier during the week when we were reviewing the initial Iran strike. I said, yeah, it's a show of force for the region, but it's also a show of our military prowess. And Pete Hegseth and Trump both saying that no country in the world has the military capabilities that we have for us to be able to do that, to invade your airspace undetected, hit what we want to hit, and be out before you even know what's going on. We're the only country that's able to do that. So him doing that to Iran, that was a message to China, Russia, and North Korea as well. That's Rahm Emanuel echoing my sentiment.
the blast radius of this goes much farther.
Democrats have to face the music. There's only one commander-in-chief, and he conducted quite a week. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most
All right, bet. 155, guys. That is I got to stay under the 2-hour mark so I can make use of StreamYard's automation and put my show in rotation at night. The house is actually starting to fill up. I could probably go on for another hour. So I tell you, you guys always, the place starts to fill up around like the 1.5 hour mark, man. Hey man, thanks to everybody for supporting the stream. Quiet Storm, Red Sigma, and Theo Waff. All right, I will be back Monday with the news desk, Monday through Friday. You didn't get one this Friday because the sun went down too early. It was on my Sabbath. I should have been on earlier. And then episode 1, season 8, I aired this week as well. But it's looking like Monday through Friday. Next week, tomorrow night, Sunday panel, live Sunday show. Y'all know what it is. Once again, man, I want to thank everybody for supporting the channel as much as you do. And everybody that emails me and then is in the comments, you know, telling me to keep going and keep making the content. You guys got no idea how much that continues to motivate me, because it's a lot of work putting this stuff out. And like I said, we're trying to get the channel to grow. That being said, once again, Sunday, we're dropping those. We're committed to the long form content. As you see, we've been dropping those videos every day. Please hit the like button. Please leave comments under those long form videos. Please watch them all the way through. That will help us get those into the algorithm. Quiet Storm said, hey Theo, back to Grafana and Prometheus. That's the other work going on behind the scenes. Hey man, I'm looking at Terraform notes right in front of me while I'm doing this. So and I got a mind map on my other tablet. I'm multitasking over here. If you know, you know, man. That being said, man, thanks to everybody for tuning in this evening. We'll be bringing the news desk to you Monday through Friday. We're still trying to settle on a time somewhere between 9 p.m. and like 11 p.m. We've just been winging it in the meantime. That being said, man, I will see you guys tomorrow. And as always, good night and good luck.
Hey, where's Stewie? That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. Okay, I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not right on the teleprompter.
There it is. We are going to do Sting, yeah.
There's no words there. To play us out. What does that mean, to play us out? To end the show?
Yeah.
All right, go.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today, and we'll leave you with a... I can't do it. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Stewie Griffin. Thanks for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.